I spent all of my days just hoping it wasn't so. Still see the facts in front of me, but I won't let go. I'm hoping that I'm wrong and this is all just a show. Reality hurts and it stings just like a blow. Used to be an optimist, I'm falling like a pessimist. I tried so many times, but I'm chained like the elephant. Can't believe I'm here again, no one else is left to blame. Need to free my mind and break the bond, cause it's not a chain.
Our little adventures.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, I haven't been around much. I've just been trying to like do lots of things and been busy. But there's a few specific things I wanted to talk about.
Okay. What exactly would you like to talk about?
We'll get into that in a minute. But before we do that, like I just wanted to just have a little catch up. I mean, what I wanted to know. Can you give me, as a woman, just like 3 things over the past week you've been excited about?
3 things in the past week for me to be excited about. First thing is Infinity War. That is straight.
No spoilers, please. I haven't seen it. I want to see it tonight.
You're going to go see it tonight, yeah?
Possibly see it tonight, if not then tomorrow.
Have you got a ticket for me?
We'll think about that.
Anyway, going back into it, yeah. Infinity War, obviously I've been really excited about that because this is something that has been a 10-year journey for a lot of people. Yeah. And you know, it's coming to a conclusion, you know.
What else have you been excited about?
What else I've been excited about is that I've been trying to build, actually at home, a cinema. Not cinema, I mean swimming pool. I keep thinking about cinema. I don't know why, guys. Like, I apologise. But it's adventures. But no, I've been trying to build up a swimming pool using pallets. Actually, seen something that was on a DIY do-it-yourself on Google, and then I thought, you know what, I've got a summer project in my hands, and also it was just hot.
But by the time you start getting into it, the rain has been coming.
Yeah, exactly. That is what's been happening.
Anything else?
Anything else? 3 things. The third one being the third one. I think for me has been the Premier League. For me, like the football that's been happening, because it's as you might have not noticed.
The only thing I noticed, because you know I don't follow football at all. The only thing is I had to drive through Wembley recently. I didn't realise it was a Man U Tottenham game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realise that. I drove through as the game finished, and I was stuck in traffic for an hour and a half.
Oh my God, how was the traffic?
Yeah, no, like it just stopped because they closed all roads, and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get out of the car because there was nowhere to park. I was like, okay, I'll get out the car and I'll just park and I'll get the train and I'll just come back for the car. And it's like, no parking on match days before like midnight. And I was like, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, but apart from that, so.
Because it's Arsenal Wenger is leaving.
Yeah, I heard about that.
22 years.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
His name was born to
play Arsenal.
His name is Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsene Wenger. You know, just to clarify. So that hopefully gets bleeped out in the future.
Yeah, so for me, I went to EGX, which is something we wanted to talk about, some of the games I played. Secondly, you know what my favourite game is, right?
Yes, Shenmue.
You know what happened?
What happened with Shenmue? What news are you going to give me about Shenmue, this game, which I believe...
Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2 getting a HD re-release on PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC coming out this year. So I was a bit excited about that.
Yeah.
And thirdly, I started playing games again because I hadn't actually played many video games recently, so I started playing some video games.
Was that inspired because of Shenmue?
No, it was actually inspired, I think, going back to EGX. So, yeah. So yeah, mostly I think for me today I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the games I played. And there's one game I thought you might be interested in hearing about. It's a game that stars one of the biggest names in athletic sports. The biggest name.
What is it?
Think American.
Oh, American.
Think American, think big.
Tiger Woods?
Big.
Kobe Bryant?
Big up.
Oh, Shaquille O'Neal?
Yes!
Yeah. Literally bigger, yeah?
So there was a game that came out on the Super Nintendo called Shaq Fu.
Shaq Fu.
It came out and it's notorious for being one of the worst video games ever. And so it was actually a couple of years ago and I kickstarted it on a whim. And I say I kickstarted it on a whim. I kickstarted it because I was in this weird phase where I was really obsessed with Nintendo Wii U. I wanted the Wii U to do well. So I was like this weird phase. I was like, no, the Wii U is going to sell it well. It's outselling the Xbox. Blah blah blah. It was, I was a bit delusional at the time. But Shaq Fu was being kickstarted to be remade by some weird French developers, and then so I backed it a while ago and I completely forgot about it. This was in 2014, I think, or 2015, I believe, a long time ago. Anyway, and then I went to EGX and lo and behold, Shaq Fu, the Legend Reborn, was playable. So I got to preview the game.
So that was your first hands-on experience with dealing with investment into a game?
It's the only game I backed outside of Shenmue.
Outside of Shenmue.
Yeah, but it was the first game that I backed on. It was Indiegogo, but like a crowdfunding platform.
Okay, can I ask you a serious question? Because can we have a bet? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My bet is that I believe that now hearing this, that we all know that Shaq Fu is notoriously known as one of the worst games in the world.
Yeah.
How would you feel if Shaq Fu outsells Shenmue?
I mean, I don't think the word for me is, will Shaq Fu review better than Shenmue 3?
That's the thing, because it's like, would you be happy?
Shenmue 3, has to review at least a 9.9, bro.
It's a Shenmue 3 reviewing a 9.9.
It has to be.
How is it going to review a 9.9? Because
it's
Lego
the
heads. Even at PS4 graphics, they're still keeping that Lego head shit, like that.
What do you know about Lego heads? And yours is so round.
Well, not round as your belly compared to be honest. But carry on.
But okay, I bet you, Shenmue 3 will review better than Shaq Fu.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll take
if
that.
I win, you have to stream Shenmue 3.
I have to stream playing that game.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And if you win, I have to stream Shaq Fu, the Legend Reborn.
No, you're gonna enjoy it because it's actually gonna be a good game.
Well, I haven't told you about the game. You don't know what I thought.
If it's gonna be a review.
Well, it's up to you to think. So ask me about it.
So yeah, go ahead. Tell me about Shaq Fu.
So actually, Shaq Fu. So it's like a side-scrolling beat 'em up kind of game. But it's cut in between with animated kind of 2D animations. It's not that great a game, but the humor. There's a lot of humour and it doesn't take itself seriously at all. Yeah, it will say things like, "Shaq, why are the graphics not good? We did not get enough on Kickstarter." Yeah. So it's also the most racist game I've played in a long time.
Really?
It's so racist. It's like the archetypal Chinese racism from the 80s. Yeah,
Ooh.
and so
like Shenmue,
No, Shenmue was in Japan. Yeah.
Japan in the 80s, yeah.
No, but the humour in it is so immature that it's quite funny. You have to go around, and what had happened, the storyline, the plotline, is that some weird demon kung fu guy had overtaken celebrities, and using them to dumb down the population, and celebrities that are not Justin Bieber, that are not Donald Trump. They're just random characters, So you have to go and beat up some Canadian pop star that are surrounded by all of these basically douchebags that are we're the believers, but they don't call them believers.
What did they call them?
I can't remember, man. It's not inspired, These are not characters you care for.
It's purely coincidental. There's no inspiration. There's nothing like that in it.
Yeah, but I think you would actually enjoy playing through the game because it's your type of humour.
What do you mean by my type of humor?
It's just really stupid. It's not dumb.
Yeah, okay,
it's
cool.
It's
for the stupid part, yes, I probably would enjoy it.
It's
for the racist part,
for example.
It's time you knew my secret.
I've seen your browser history. Some things are better left unsaid.
What? No, I lent my computer to a guy at work. Anyway, that's not it. Shaq, I am a guardian of mankind.
Why does the graphics not look good? We did not get enough on Kickstarter.
Come on, that's so meta. It's
the other character is not Chris Brown. He does not have to hit women in his thing to get towards you and punch them in the face to get to you because it's not Chris Brown.
It's not Chris Brown.
But you would find that funny, and it's too edgy. It's really it tries to be edgy, but it goes so far that I think it will be noteworthy at least.
It's like people who like Card Against Humanity would like it, I guess. Who excel at
I
Card
think
Against
Cards
Humanity.
Against Humanity has a little bit of an adult theme to it. Not just in it talks about sex and violence and weird things like STDs, but there's an element of a child would find the Shaq Fu humour funny.
Okay.
If they were kind of intelligent, but a child would enjoy it.
Okay.
I can't really understand, but what I'm going to be doing now, as you can see, I'm going to be cutting in some footage of the game here and stuff, but it's a weird game, and I don't know who's going to buy it, but it's going to be one of the things that's really stream-worthy because it's just so stupid. But Yeah, I think we should play through it because it's just really ridiculous.
No, like you're gonna play through it fully. No, your bet, the bet that I mentioned before about whether Shenmue 3 or Shaq Fu.
It's gonna review better.
Review better. I don't believe in reviews.
No, please, because the thing is,
sales,
Shenmue 3, number one,
money
Shenmue 3
talks.
is the biggest Kickstarter in the world for video games.
Yeah.
And I think it's in the top 10 for all Kickstarters.
Mm-hmm.
So number one, not only is it already really hugely popular,
it's a great game apparently. Yeah.
not just that, but thousands of people have already invested in it. So they've already pre-ordered. So it's already got pre-orders, yeah? Same thing with Shaq Fu, but not as many. Yeah, it did not be the best number one Kickstarter in the world for Shenmue.
I believe that Shenmue 3 in a year and a half is going to be on PlayStation Plus for free.
I can see that, to be honest with you. But I do think
it's not.
I do think it's going to be groundbreaking. But I do think it's like, will it actually review? Because a lot of people don't like Shenmue. They really just think it's a weird game. But do you know why I think Shenmue is going to do well?
Why so?
Because in this current era of video games, there's a lot of space. And video games have matured. And so I'm not just talking about maturity like the God of War, The Last of Us, and that kind of gritty stuff. But people are willing to try weird types of games. I'm thinking of the Telltale games.
Okay.
Yeah. Telltale games are clunky, they're kind of weird, they have not much scope, and they're short, and the voice acting and the animations are weird, right?
Okay.
But they're popular.
Your points that you come across, very true and very right. But at the same time, they got the franchises of well-beloved characters that can sustain that income.
I can understand that.
Like Batman.
Yeah, I mean, the only actually
Game of
Telltale game I've
Thrones.
played is the Game of Thrones one. But not just that, I'm playing through Night in the Woods, which is a weird 2D game, but kind of very similar in that same vein where you just explore a small area and you're interacting with characters and there's an element of choice. Life is Strange. Have you played Life is Strange?
Yeah, I played Life is
Yeah,
Strange.
Life is Strange, again, really, really, really cool game. Not the best selling game in the world, not the best looking game in the world, but there's a space for it. And the people that do play it, people call walking simulators, and there's lots of them that I haven't actually played through, but like, I've forgotten the name of it, but yeah, there's a space for them, and obviously not space for me to enjoy them because of
There's
course
a market.
there's a market for them, and well, not just a market for them, because there's a market, the people that enjoy them really like them, and there's a space for that. And I think Shenmue, in terms of exploring like a small area and interacting with characters, and that kind of element of choice, that choice-based dialogue and things like that. And like Shenmue did choice-based dialogue before choice-based dialogue was a
It
thing.
was the first sandbox game.
Yeah, and it really was, but it's a small world. It's not like GTA, bang, let's go huge. It was like, no, just explore a small area, interact with characters. And like when people ask me what Shenmue's like, is it like Yakuza? And I was like, no, it's not like Yakuza. Okay, it's set in the 80s in Japan, but no, it's more like Life is Strange in the fact that you can wander around a small town, pick up things, interact things. You have a little notebook that you write down things in, very similar to Night in the Woods, which I'm going to show you that later on as well. But it's quaint, it's cozy, it's a cozy game.
It's okay, yeah, it's a very cozy game because the fact is, it has in previous Shenmue 1 and 2 for me as a friend, like watching you play that game was like very torturous sometimes because of the clips, the cutscenes that are just like.
That was a bit too much.
It was a bit too much. It was 30-minute cutscenes in between.
That was one of the last cutscenes in the last like chapter of the game.
Man, I was feeling I was watching Netflix, you know.
But it's sick, but that's what I'm on about. But Telltale is like these games where you actually just interactive stories, except you've got a full-on like virtue fighter like fighting system in there. On top of that, like you know, like the actual beating, like you actually have that. So imagine Life is Strange or like Telltale, but instead of just playing really, you know that the QTEs in Telltale, they're boring. Like move the cursor there, it's really slow. Press triangle. Like no, like actually engaging ways of interacting with cutscenes. And I think what Yu Suzuki tried to do with Shenmue at the time was make a game that was cinematic, and it was like one of the first really cinematic games as well. But to make a cinematic game that you can interact with, but also had this kind of story element that, and like there's fighting systems in there, and there's like all these other things where a lot of games now like have the cinematic bit and then have like the action bit. And I think the games that like Telltale is just like you watch the cutscene and then you do a bit of walking around and talking, and it's actually trying to mix it up a little bit. It was the first to do that, and I feel like I'm waffling a bit, but I just want to say that I think Shenmue has a space for for people in the market. It has a space.
For the bin.
No.
It has a space for the bin.
The thing is,
because Shenmue 3 is like
when you play through the game and you're like, Rob, this is actually a good game, you know. Yeah, admit it on camera. That's what I'm gonna say. Like, Rob, it's actually kind of an interesting game.
All right, what was I playing at that point? I would admit it. I would like to clarify and admit that, yeah, I played Shenmue 3, not Shenmue 3, Shenmue 1 and 2, and yeah, there were some points that was very interesting, yeah, but at the same time, that was also the day when there was no internet. I'm joking. No, but also I was playing the side quest, the arcade that was inside the game, yeah, that I found interesting. I didn't find it interesting to go to work as the character. And
no, I found that interesting.
I didn't find that
because
interesting.
you don't have to find it interesting, this is my point. Yeah. It's not for everyone, but it is a game that is, but the thing is, like I said, it's a game that some people will like. But for example, God of War just released, looks amazing, I want to play that through that game. But it's not for everyone. Not everyone is going to sit there and go, do you know what, I want a big cinematic story where I follow a graphic-looking user and kill things. Some people don't want that. Some people don't want Call of Duty, but it doesn't mean that it's not a popular game. I don't really particularly want to play Overwatch and Fortnite, but they're huge. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But like that's not a space for me. But there's, I think, at the moment, video games at a point, there's space in the market for them. Well, that's kind of my point. Like, you can play little indie games and they can be popular. I just think there's a lot out there. But, I mean, and the other thing, thinking about that, is when I was at EGX, I played a game called Winter Hall, and this was really interesting. And I think because of Game of Thrones, because of Skyrim, and because of like kind of Lord of the Rings and that stuff, I really enjoyed the kind of medieval European setting. This game is based in reality, in a sense. It's based in Sussex in the UK, and you flick between time, and so you go into this space and it looks beautiful because it's an Unreal Engine and it looks really, really good. And you're exploring this village where it's being excavated of people that used to live there. And what you're doing is you flick back in time and you play as characters at different time points in this same village. And so it's only a demo, so there was only one chapter that I played for about half an hour. The developer said that it will be about 8 chapters long, but the chapter I played also had bits cut out to make it more of a demo type feel where you can get through it in a small playthrough. But the game is just really, really cool in terms of interacting with characters. So I went back to the 1400s or the 1300s, and it was like, Lord of the Manor, there's a lord in his castle kind of a thing, and there's a little village around them, and it's the Black Plague. The whole game was designed to educate people about the Black Plague, in a sense. So it won a contest with the Wellcome Trust in Houston about interactive gaming and science and how to promote science through interactive gaming. So it came second place in educating people about the Black Plague in this time and through this game. And so when I went back, there was like this lord his son was dying of the Black Plague.
I may have lost your mother, but I shall not lose you. Nothing will take you from me. I swear it. Hush now. Sleep now.
I had the option of giving the poison to kill him or the opium, and I gave the opium. And then when I went back to the future, it was saying that there was a woman that used to live in this area, blah blah blah, and she had actually made things worse by giving opium to the people in this area because she prolonged their life, therefore spreading the disease. But it was just really, really interesting, and I really, really liked it. And the thing I liked was, number 1, it looked beautiful. Number 2, the setting was amazing. Number 3, through jumping back and forth, I really connected with these people. For example, you meet a young girl and her mother's sick, and you help them out, and then you flip back and you come back a year later, and the house is just empty. And you know what I mean? And it felt really impactful. What he said, the developer, was that going through the game in the different chapters, you're going to go through different points in history in this same village, and it's all going to be set there. But that was the 1300s. You might go to the 1980s,
or you might go through the Roman times.
Yeah, and so but remember, it's all about the Black Plague. So it's around this and things and the history around that. So it's going to be really interesting. I spoke to the guy. His name's Rob as well, and he was a developer on Silent Hill.
Was he fat like you too?
So he was a developer on Silent Hill, so he's had a lot of experience, and yeah, it's just really, really interesting, and that's what I'm on about. Where I think there's scope for these games. It didn't have any combat in it. There wasn't a lot to gamey. There was no puzzles. It was it was just exploration and interacting with people, and I think that's why Shenmue is going to be good. I think that's why games like Winter
Shenmue's
Hall
not going to be good.
That's why games like Winter Hall can exist. That's why games like Life is Strange and like Night in the Woods and Telltale games can exist, because there's a space for just interacting and storytelling through an interactive medium. And
But I think the scope of, I think my belief, the scope of Shenmue, sorry to interrupt you, the scope of Shenmue in itself, it's, the scope back then, when Shenmue first came out, it was groundbreaking, you know,
It was
it was a great big scope, massive,
Yeah.
it's groundbreaking, but unfortunately now, like from what I've seen of the trailers and how it looks like, the mechanics of, you know, the footage of when they were doing Rio jumping along the stones, along the river, like just seeing that from behind the scenes footage of that, it didn't give me that much confidence. Like maybe back then, like doing this kind of thing, like this game is, I feel like it's a game that should have come out before.
No, it definitely should have come out before.
Yeah, but it, like, and that's what I feel like it's gonna hurt it.
But
because if it came out in its time, it would have been like early, you know. But if it's coming out now, I feel like it won't have that great, majestic cinematic scope that it had before.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's fine. But either way, we're going to play it. We're going to find out. Will a game like Shenmue that has deep, intricate systems and relationship-based storytelling, or Shaq Fu that get a two-page punch, knock Donald Trump in the face. Yeah. So which one's going to go? We don't know.
Let's see. Let's find out.
I think for me that was that's it. So honestly, for now, that's all I wanted to say. So
yeah. Hopefully we'll have something coming up soon for you guys a lot more regularly, but that's dependent on us and like our habits. When I say our habits, it's also how many times do I need to wake up, like
on time.
On time.
Get here on time.
Or get here on time, or do some organising on time.
But things definitely coming up. I know that. I mean, E3's coming up in a couple of months.
Yeah.
We're definitely do some things for that.
Yeah.
And then we got EGX in September, October. We're doing that, and there's through the summer. I know just during the summer in terms of events, there's going to be a lot going on in London, and we're going to be going to stuff. And so
I really want to hope for that. And on that note, I guess it's time to close out the show. And thank you guys for watching us and watching our show and coming back after a little break or so.
Our long hiatus.
Hiatus, sabbatical. But thank you guys, and I really hope to see you guys soon again. And I know Rob will be hoping to see you guys soon again. And also, I want to see the face of Rob when he realizes Shenmue 3 is not going to be successful and it's not going to have a chance. So I want you guys to see that as well. See you guys.
Peace. Just hoping it wasn't so. Still see the facts in front of me, but I won't let go. I'm hoping that I'm wrong and this is all just a show. Reality hurts and it stings just like a blow.